manifestation happens.
Yeah.
It's when you have the feelings of success, the feelings of happiness, and all those things. That's when you sort of open up the door for all this beautiful stuff to come through. So that was when it happened, and then I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had to try and claw my way back to that, after things went so horribly wrong, that was challenging. That was very challenging.
Yeah. So, well, how did you claw your way back? I mean, since you just mentioned it now, like you found out that the company was unethical. Like, exactly what happened there?
Well, I don't want to hop on this one too long, but basically we got SARS involved. I mean, I was the one that raised the flag. We found out that this monies had been stolen, and we raised the flag, and we brought the company to its knees. We collapsed the company, and with that we lost a lot of money, and a lot of people lost their jobs. So it was quite a horrible space to be in. And the journey after that was very tough. All my teachings went out the window between that point and the point where I actually did the video that started up #Imstaying. I was incredibly unhealthy. I was completely overweight. I was mentally in a very bad space. I couldn't get myself out of bed, if I'm completely honest. It was very traumatic. It was a very traumatic experience. But I had these teachings, that I could reference on, and I sort of slowly made my way back to those teachings. But it was hard because, when I first started learning about Abraham, my heart and my mind was open. When I tried to claw my way back, everything was closed. And it was like I could hear the mumblings of Abraham, but I couldn't make out what she was saying, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So that was really tough. But when the bomb dropped with Imstaying and it took off like that, gosh, it just like the floodgates open and
But that's crazy. I mean, that's incredible, because so many people on social media, do things and do attempt to create different pages or groups or whatever the case may be. But did you know at the time when you started that page, #Imstaying, did you again referring back to Abraham's teachings, but it's not just Abraham, how this is the teachings of all the great not philosophers, but the great spiritual leaders, the great motivational leaders, that it's all about body, mind, and soul connection. That's what it is, right? So you can achieve anything as long as it's sort of the mind, the heart, the body, that's all in alignment with the flow of that goal and that energy. So when you started #Imstaying, did you consciously have that connection? Were you aware of it, or was it just something straight from the heart that you were doing?
Well, I think it was a combination of a whole bunch of things. I mean, if you ask me, was I aware that Imstaying was going to do what it did? There's no conceivable way that anybody would have known. It was just the right message at the right time, and it took off. But I was conscious in my wording. I was deliberate in what I said. I was deliberate in the words that I used. And then from there, I was quite deliberate in trying to build. A lot of stuff we got wrong, a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff we got right. And I mean, the rest is history.
What ended up happening with #Imstaying. But just on the breadth of what you were mentioning now, like, so many people, and at the moment also, with COVID having been like this unexpected, shock to everyone's system, a lot of people also losing jobs, and also a lot of people reflecting very deeply about where they've been in their life because they've had so much time to reflect. Maybe just take us on that journey of that darkness and really let us understand it, because it's in that darkness that you were able to be more humble, it sounds to me, and more vulnerable in then creating that video of #Imstaying and sort of being more open-hearted publicly as well.
What more would you like for me to discuss?
So I mean, you talk about this dark patch, but I mean, what is show us what that meant, this dark period, because it was through that darkness you were able to step into something more enlightening.
Listen, I think we've unpacked it pretty well. I think the reality is that we had the challenges were obviously financial challenges. We had devastation in a number of the relationships that were forged. I was seen as public enemy number one to the people that worked at the company, because I was the one that brought them down. I was just not in a sound mental or emotional state. I don't know what more to say on the topic other than I was a broken individual. I was completely broken, and I was alone and was scared and was trapped, I guess, cornered, snookered.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's much more to unpack with that. That's where I was, and I made the decision to change my language and and try and seek out something that was more constructive. That's what I did.
And how long were you in that process for, in that phase?
So that was from 2017 to 2019. It was a slippery slope downhill, but where it got to the crux of it was early 2019.
Yeah, and that's when you made that video, because your speech was in such a negative place at that time.
Correct.
Yeah.